Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so took care of all I need to do at Target, so I ain't gotta worry about that for the rest of the day. Trying to just, utilize my time responsibly. What I could have did was stay in the house and do some art while I was waiting for the clothes to dry and then come out after I finished doing laundry, but that's pushing it a little bit in regards to how I want to handle being available for my schedule tonight. So it's like, all right, I'll just take care of this now and kill two birds with one stone. So that's what it is, man. It's a nice day. It's about to get hot again. It's probably about just like 81, 82 degrees, nothing too serious. It's going to get up to about 89 on Tuesday, from what I understand. So it's warming up a little bit, then it's going to cool back off right after that, head back down to the 70s. So yeah, pretty nice day right now, but it just is what it is. Sunday feels good to be out since I didn't spend any time out yesterday. I feel a little better. Hopefully what was wrong with me, I guess you could say, over these last 24 hours has now been sorted through. As I was telling you, I was dealing with more of the allergy issues, and I think I might be allergic to blue Powerade, possibly. We'll know soon enough since I got rid of it. And if it's not that, then it's probably something in the potatoes that I'm currently eating, even though I had already had them and didn't have any problems for a week or so. I did switch it up a little bit and got the extra crispy tater tots as opposed to the regular ones. So for all I know, that might be what's caused these issues. I honestly have no idea, man, but I'm inclined to believe it's probably whatever's in that Powerade, to be honest. I think that's what it was. So just trying to manage my body, man. Trying to give it what it needs and remove from it what hurts it. And the list is just getting longer and longer, as we were talking about in that previous video. But yeah, man, what else is going on out there, man? I don't know. I don't really know. I talked to you guys so much earlier this week about what was going on in Gaza, and they killed a lot of babies this week, man. A lot of them. A lot of children lost their lives in that space. I was listening to what Kyrie Irving was saying. Happy birthday, Kyrie, by the way. Today's his birthday, but he has his platform, and I saw an excerpt from it. He was essentially saying, it's about saving lives. A lot of the stuff that's going on in the world is a distraction as it pertains to our media and our government and the way they're acting and what have you is a distraction. But the truth is, people are losing their lives for whatever reason, to whatever degree, and we need to just not be afraid of using our voices to stand up against that. And I definitely second that. I think that it is perfectly fine to love people and love the idea of human beings not suffering. I think that's a perfectly good thing. And I know that we are living in a facet in a world where people want to more or less okay murder for their own just reasons, whatever they feel it is. It's okay to kill that person because they're going to kill us first. So it's okay to kill their children because their kids are going to grow up to be terrorists, or whatever the people are telling themselves. And at the end of the day, good people, good human beings do not subscribe to that level of thinking. There's a certain decorum that we carry ourselves with as it pertains to children, whether the children are being quote unquote raised by bad people or not. Children are children and can be taught anything. And if you get a hold of those children, which should be the goal, rather than literally killing them, maybe you can change the course of what it is that their lives will be. And that we live in a space where there are facets of people who call themselves, responsible and call themselves powerful or deem themselves chosen or whatever, however it goes. Governments of people who literally think that we should be backing people with this line of thinking, that believe that killing children to protect themselves from future threats makes any sense, is something that is depraved about us as a country and depraved about our Western world. And we need to get back to the basics of believing that children can grow up to whatever it is, to be whatever it is they want to be. And that we should not be co-signing anything that harms them or aligning with any ideologies that vilifies them before they become whatever it is they choose to become. That is bankrupt in a million different ways, and if it were pointed at different people, they would call it bankrupt. But because it's pointed at the Palestinian people by the Jewish people, or the Zionist Jews, that is, then all of a sudden it's a logical way of eliminating threats that ultimately harm their precious people. And for me, it has nothing short of evil, and anybody that's a good person should see it my way. And that is not words I take lightly, nor do I apply that to other subjects. But when it comes to this subject, I do agree with those who agree with me that people should agree with us. That's really what it is. And let's not allow our bankrupt officials in government and paid for government officials and media members, let's not allow them to warp our view of how things should be done. Because if we align with their logic, we become just as bad as them. It's so very evil in the sense that if others align with that same logic, that also puts their children at risk by way of what it is that they are, which is the terrorists. If we were to subscribe to the thinking that they subscribe to, then we turn around and target their children so that they don't grow up to be evil. You see what I'm saying? Like the idea of example is neglected in their behavior toward how they handle people they call terrorists. And we see them as terrorists in what it is that they're doing. And so how best are we to handle them if we are to follow them in how they handle people? Then all of a sudden their children are at risk for being slaughtered and murdered as a preventative measure to keep that for which is their terrorism from harming our people. Now, if I were to align myself with that logic and behavior, then all of a sudden I am exactly what that behavior aligns with. One of the worst people in the world. But apparently as they engage in this behavior, we aren't allowed to see them as that. Or for some reason it's different, though we know it is not. I don't believe Zionist children should be subjected to any type of violence just because their fathers and the people above them are trying to teach them how to be awful human beings. Children can be taught how not to be awful human beings. So I don't subscribe to that. I don't think one single hair on any Zionist child's head should have to suffer any ills of any kind because of the sins of their fathers or because of the threat that their ideology is proven to be among the rest of us. And I would challenge anybody to agree with me on that as well if you are dejected and frustrated by the behavior of the Zionists. And we are not safer if we're annihilating their children. That there's been many examples of how the new generation have changed the ideologies of the structure of their people or a people. That the new generation will be the one that undoes some of the damage that's been done by their forefathers. That they are in fact a solution to such things. If an immoral and bankrupt practices in their space, those who will see it clearly are usually born within their own race and within their own groups. So to align with that ideology that they should be annihilated as children so that they don't grow up to be terrorists ignores that evidence for which I've seen in my life. And so I don't believe that the intention is to protect their own children as they engage in this. I think the essence of evil is to destroy all things, including self. And that is why they neglect the idea that they are setting an example for how others should handle threats however they deem them, whether it be them or a different party of whom the person would turn their attention to annihilate terroristic threats. You hurt children. They don't have any interest in people not following them down that path, whether it be pointed at their kids or not, because the essence of what they're doing is destructive. It's evil, and its purpose is not to protect anything, but to destroy everything. So that's what I want people to understand about what I see there. That ideology is demonic, and that is why it does nothing to protect them or anyone else. If anything, it puts all of us at a risk, and it challenges all of us to be just as awful as them. That's by design. There's another conversation I wanted to throw in here. I only got about 5 more minutes to talk. But there's a lady who, this ain't the first time I heard this. There's a lady who married an inmate, a black lady, elderly lady. She has a grandmother, probably over the age of 55. Married some inmate who had been incarcerated for quadruple murder. And she went to visit her husband. She married the man. She went to visit him on a conjugal visit, and he took her life as well. Reading energy, I think that's what some of my conversations about reading energy is about. A lot of time we go toward things that have been put in our lives by self-destructive cultures, or we romanticize demons throughout the course of our lives, whether it be because we've aligned with cultures that were put in place to make us destructive, and or just the inner demons in ourselves. As I said, bad people like bad people, and say like, good girls like bad guys. No, bad girls like bad guys, and they welcome what comes with that. She is an example of that. She might have been a good grandmother, she might have been a sweet lady, but she was drawn to wickedness, evil, and violence and destruction as it pertains to who she was attracted to and falling in quote-unquote love with. That's not love. That's a demonic warping that is attached to spirits that are looking to be warped up into demonic spaces. And this is what we were talking about. She's a prime example. And she fell to the fate that comes with that type of romanticizing over demonic spaces and demonic energies. If you are a bad person, and you find that a good person is drawn to you because you are a bad person, I cannot stress this enough. That person is not a good person. That person is a bad person. And this is the form of bad that they are. Not that they put out bad energy, but they attract bad energy. And those who are attached to them suffer because of it. And that's what this is why this conversation is relevant. Now her grandkids and her kids get to suffer the ills of bereavement and embarrassment in regards to her, because she was drawn to wickedness and evil. Drawn to it. And what it ended up doing, it ended up destroying her and breaking their hearts and embarrassing her and sending her into shame. This is the reality of that. You gotta work a relationship out with the Most High to protect you from these realities that we have been taught to romanticize demonic energy, and taught by way of the culture we're in to welcome things into our bodies and our lives that destroy us. This is no different. She was attracted to this man for her own set of reasons, but the reality of this man was that he had killed 4 people, and he was in prison for that for the rest of his life. And this is the man she chose to fall in love with. If God is love, that ain't God. That God wasn't there. What did you fall into? But when you spiritually bankrupt and or evil yourself and drawn to wickedness, or wickedness is drawn to you, and you welcome it, then you'll never know the difference. You'll be in the devil's confusion that makes you think that wicked attachment is somehow equivalent to love. Let's not be spiritually bankrupt. Let's not approach things without reading its energy. And let's not confuse ourselves by thinking that there's going to be good attached to the evil that we're drawn to. It's not there. And you're not a good person for being drawn to it in the way that you are, welcoming it into your lives and into the lives of the people who are affected by your energy. You're going to need to go to a living God that's going to help you have a relationship with him, so he can help you sort through that sinful nature that ultimately brings forth evil into your life willingly as you welcome it toward you. That's not God. That's not love. That's not the real energy. She was spiritually bankrupt. That's what the truth was. She thought she could find love in wickedness and violence. There's no love in that. That's not what it actually is. So that's what I want to tell people. Condolences to her family, but from a spiritual standpoint, she's just yet another example of what it is that has given us this understanding. And if you're going to be one of those people that's continue to call yourself a good person that's drawn to wickedness, then you're going to be yet another example in your life too of the same type of thing in a different way. So that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is Bdf 44. I thank you all for watching.